This is the plaintiff, Mary McRoberts. She says her car was badly damaged by rocks thrown from the roof of the building the defendant, Alexander, lives in. And he or one of his friends did it. That's right. He had a wild rooftop party one night, and specific rocks from the rooftop terrace were hurled down into the street, damaging her car and others. Thank God no one was killed by the sick, malicious act. The defendants must be ordered to pay the $4,178.33 she's owed. These are the defendants, Alexander and Joseph and Philip Greenberg. Alexander says he had a party on the roof all right, but he knows none of his guests would ever throw anything off the roof onto the street. The plaintiff is basing her whole case on assumption. In fact, there are any number of places the rocks could have come from, but for some reason, she's all bent on pinning him with the damage, and he can't wait to see what the judge has to say about it. They're accused of a good old-fashioned stoning.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Mary McRoberts, you are suing Alexander and Joseph. You've asked to be referred. Who's Alexander? And Joseph. You've asked to be referred to only by your first names. And the building that they live in, represented here by the condo co-op president, Philip Greenberg?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You've asked us not to mention the name of the building, and we'll respect that. For $4,178.33 in damages that you say occurred because of the negligence of Alexander. Okay, tell me what's going on. He nods when I say that. All right. Go ahead, tell me what's going on.
On weekends, I park my car in front of my apartment building, and it had been a very hot spell, so I had sat in the car with a thermometer because I have 2 dogs, and they were sitting in the car overnight. They have a dog bed, and they like sleeping in the car.
You leave your dogs overnight in the car in the summer?
When it's under 80 degrees, I do. And I had a thermometer.
Out of curiosity, why?
Because they're not allowed in my apartment building.
So you leave them in the car all the time?
No.
They live in
I
the
leave them
car.
on a farm in Liberty, New York, in Swan Lake.
And then they come for visits to the city?
Yes.
But then the dogs come how often? I'm just curious. The dogs come how often to the city?
Rarely.
Okay. And what kind of dogs are these?
They're dwarf poodles. They're show poodles.
Okay.
So at any rate, I put up my...
I mean, don't they bark? Don't the neighbors get upset? Haven't the police ever driven by and say you can't do that? Like, nothing?
No, they've gotten used to the noise. That's the thing.
The neighbors or the dogs?
The dogs.
Okay.
The dogs.
All right, so go ahead.
At any rate, I woke up in the morning and Kenny Banks, who is a doorman, said, Mary, something awful happened last night. Somebody was throwing stones on Park Avenue. And he said, for cars, your car was the worst damage on the street.
There were other cars that were damaged as well?
Yes. And I have pictures from the superintendent.
And so did the police conduct an investigation?
Yes.
All
And
right.
I had a police report that I gave.
All right, you are suing for damage to your car, but you are also suing for jewelry repair and a damaged bracelet. Explain that to me.
Well, I took my dogs on a leash, and I was walking very quickly, and I tripped, and I fell. And I've got a prosthesis in my right shoulder. And I fell head down like this. All right, so I was trying, in my best analysis, to try and determine where the stones were coming from. That was for starters. That was before I called the police.
Okay, but why are you suing for the bracelet?
I was very upset. I was walking very quickly, and normally I would not trip and fall walking down the street. I know it sounds like an entertaining joke, but it's not a joke when I have, damage up and down my arms.
No, I'm sorry that you fell. That's very serious. What the part I'm not connecting the dots on is why it would ever be their fault that you fell. That's the part I'm not
because I wouldn't have been in an upset state of mind. I was pretty
What if you shot somebody because you were upset about the rock? Does that mean that they're responsible for a homicide? I mean, like,
Well,
where
you
does it
lost
end?
me on
When
that.
when would that be your fault that you tripped and not their fault that you tripped?
Oh, you got me on that one.
I did, didn't I? All right. Now,
Let's put it this way. I liked wearing this bracelet.
I'm sure
I
you
had
did.
no intentions of doing this to myself.
let me just jumpstart this a little bit. You end up figuring out which building you think it is, and then do you speak to that doorman?
What I did was I had Alberto from 16 talk to the superintendent in
You had
their
your super
building.
speak to their super.
Exactly.
Okay. And then they discovered that there was a party, correct,
Right.
Alexander?
And it was
okay,
on
stop.
tape.
Now, Alexander, let me hear from you. How old are you?
18.
18. What happened that night?
It was a small get-together with a few friends,
How many?
5 or 6.
Okay.
And we went up there talking, eating, whatever, just hang out
Up there where?
on my roof.
Okay.
And,
how tall is that building? How many floors?
27. The roof's on like the 28th floor.
And do all of the tenants, you live there with your dad?
Yeah,
And anybody else?
my mother.
The tenants all have access to the rooftop. That's not
Yes. we don't have
verboten.
that.
Okay, so you're up there with 5 or 6 friends, and what happens?
We're just hanging out, and then I leave for college a few days later, and
What
I
are you
get
studying?
film,
Okay.
and I get a call that rocks have been thrown and we're being accused of it because we're the only ones up there. And I can say that I didn't, and I know none of my friends.
No, we have a video
Okay.
of that night, because when they contacted me.
Who contacted you?
Actually, we got a letter from the managing agent,
Okay.
okay, and they contacted us.
Of your own building?
Right, because when they viewed this tape, they wanted to verify if that was my son actually on the tape, to make sure, because you really don't see any of these kids throwing rocks. You don't even see, a lot of times, you don't really see much. So we viewed this tape, and I contacted Miss McRoberts when I seen the tape.
And who gave you her name?
The managing agent
From your
gave
building?
me her name,
Okay,
yes.
because she had already been to them.
Well, I guess they contacted, I don't know how
Did
they
the
got
police,
her
like,
name.
I'm just curious, is the police calling anybody, doing anything or no? Okay, go
No.
on.
So what happened was, I'm the one that contacted Ms. McRoberts here. And I told her, I said, listen, after viewing this tape, there's no evidence that they actually did anything. But being that they were on the roof at a certain hour where they shouldn't have been,
Why do you say they shouldn't have been?
because it was 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning.
And nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m.
Well, I don't know.
Right, but
I'm
I mean,
saying
other
this-
than, when you say they shouldn't have been, I'm just curious,
Right,
they weren't
assume-
violating
right, I just said-
any co-op rules, were they?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, go
So
ahead.
they were on the roof, it was
You
a hot
just,
night.
no, I agree with you. If my child is up there, 18 or not,
he's-
at 3 in the morning, I don't want him there either
He's
because
been
there's
there-
neighbors and everything else.
He's
It's-
been up there many times in the
Yeah,
past.
yeah.
And we never had a problem.
Okay.
So what happened was, I contacted Ms. Roberts, and I told her, I said, listen, only because they were on the roof when they shouldn't have been at that hour, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And I was ready to, take care of whatever it was. He didn't tell me that he did it. I asked him, I said, did you throw a rock? You and your friends threw a rock? He says, no. And I believe my son, because like I said, he's been up there, he's never been in trouble before. And so I wanted to deal with her personally, because he's going away to college. And I figured, well, I don't know how far this is going to go. I wanted to end it. I figured it was the best way to deal with it at the time. But when I was talking to Ms. Roberts here, it came to the point that I asked her, she's going on and on and on about damage to the car, how much it's going to cost me. She gave me the number of I think it was a Mattawan, New Jersey, Mini Cooper up there, who she bought the car from. And she's telling me that they have an estimate for me. When I contacted them, they had no idea what I was talking about. She called me, she sent me on my email, she sent me photographs of a car. And that's when I told her, I said, listen, because now in contact, talking with her.
Wait, instead of staring, you got the pictures up? Awesome. Okay, go
Instead
ahead.
of, on our conversation, something didn't seem right. So I said, maybe I made a mistake trying to deal with her personally. So now I'm thinking, so when I spoke to her the next time, I said to her, I would like to see the damage of the car. That's all I said to her. And she got all, well, I was going to say crazy, but she got it kind of abusive. She started cursing, and she hung up the phone on me. And that was it, until the last time I heard from her.
I definitely see damage to the windshield. And then I see rocks next to the car, and those are the rocks that she has in her hands. And are those rocks, are there such decorative rocks up on the rooftop?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. That was everybody's concern. Okay, where is the other damage?
The front of the car.
Very front,
Yep,
right on top of the grill.
yep, above it, on the right side.
Yeah, I see it.
It's about the size of this.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, absolutely. Switch, please, with the co-op president. Tell me how you get involved and what you do to try to get to the bottom of all this.
Well, as Ms. Marbut said, the managing agent, as soon as they learned about it, did a full investigation. And They looked at the videotape. I understand that he recognized some of the boys.
Okay, let me see the tape. Is that a tape that's on the rooftop?
on the
Nice
roof,
rooftop.
yeah.
Wow. Where are the decorative rocks in there?
That's facing.
And that's not even facing Park Avenue
Which-
itself.
That's
which is the-
facing. That's west.
Come on,
Where
come
was
over
it?
here, Dad. Actually, stay back there. You get over here. All right? Which is facing the area that's in question here?
This is facing 35th Street, the
Okay,
street,
which
and
is
this
the-
is facing Park Avenue
So
over here.
this is the area that
This is all cut out, and this is
okay.
everything.
Where are the
facing.
decorative rocks up there? Where are the planters that have
I
decorative
believe
rocks?
they're over here.
On the other side of these chairs?
Yes, behind the lounge chairs right here.
Okay, on the ground or high
Yeah,
up?
just kind of like making a little perimeter around the floor.
All right, stand back right there. Hold on one second. I see that there's somebody here. Then there's somebody here. I see that somebody walking to the back where you said there were planters. He is reaching down. He has taken a rock. Who the hell is that?
I can't tell with this hoodie.
He's got a hoodie on.
That's him.
You don't know who had the hoodie on?
There was one kid up there who was a friend of someone else.
He's leaning over and he's throwing something.
That's 35th Street though, and as you can he sits back down after he picks up this rock, but you're not even sure he picks up the rock.
No, I'm sure he picked up a rock. They may not be sure. He may not be sure. I'm sure he picked up a rock.
I mean,
but
it's just-
but you're saying that this part. Let me ask you.
Yes.
This is not the part where she's complaining about. But for all we know, that part had cars too, and just nobody connected the dots here in the story because.
There's another building also
Yeah,
blocking
right.
the street.
But I am extremely concerned that individual clearly leaned down and picked up a rock.
We'll just see what he does
Right.
because now he's fixing his shoes. Maybe that's what he was doing before too.
I highly doubt it.
I mean-
You know, this is what we call, circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence, a fingerprint is circumstantial evidence. So the thing is, just a second. The thing is, you saw the entire tape. The entire tape is how many
I saw
hours?
most of the tape.
How many hours is it?
It's about 2 hours.
Okay. Was your son wearing a hoodie?
No, that's
not
him.
your son.
No, because you can see him clearly in the picture.
Right.
If I may step up.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to show you. This is facing west over here. But right now, all the kids, well, outside of these two, they're over here behind the wall.
Okay. Yeah, they can both come back.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey 11 here. So is the host responsible if the guest throws the rock off the 27th floor?
Yes, they are because they knew they was having a party on the 27th floor. Maybe you should have barricaded it and,
You barricade the roof? You think somebody's going to go through the roof? Really?
Give them a disclaimer.
You gotta be
I'm
kidding me.
high up. I'm
Come
very-
on.
No.
I don't think the host should be responsible, Harvey. I don't know where the rocks came from.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, the rocks are up. The rocks are up in the roof. Should the host be responsible and maintain sanity of the guests?
Yeah, I think they're responsible. They're responsible for the people they invite. If they invited knuckleheads, and they're responsible.
Oh, the knucklehead defense. I love that. Going inside the courtroom.
Let me ask you this. Joseph called you and attempted to negotiate the case, right?
He demanded to see the car. What happened was I said I have pictures of all of the damage.
Why can't you just show him the car?
He was insistent and he sounded like a thug.
Okay.
All right? No offense, he sounded like a
No
thug.
offense to thugs? What? Okay.
And I said, look, I have pictures of it for you. When I sent him the pictures, he denied the validity of the pictures.
I am going to assume that some jerk who was in that party of 5 pegged those rocks. I'm going to assume that. Let's just take that as a given, that someone at that party did that. How does that mean that he is responsible unless you can prove that it was him? If I am with a criminal, I can't be charged with the crime unless I'm an accomplice to the crime. That's how criminal liability works. Civil liability, I cannot be charged with the damage he did unless there's a bad I did too. For example, I'm plying that kid with liquor, and I continue to serve him, and then he turns around and he has a DUI. Or I tell him, hey, it would be a really good idea if you did that. Or I hand him the rocks, and I'm giggling. I have to be part of it for me to be responsible. But if I just have 5 guys over, and one of them turns out to be a jerk, then, and I have no reason to believe that guy was going to peg rocks because he doesn't have a history of rock pegging, then what did I do wrong? How do I get pinned with it? So we're in a really bad position because you didn't take the time to sit down, be civil, and cooperate with him, and you felt that he was a thug and you didn't want to show him the car and everything else. Now, let me correct that. We are not in a bad position. You are in a bad position because there is not sufficient evidence in this case to hold any of them liable, and my verdict in this case is for the defendants.
Thank you.
All right, so the plaintiff comes out here. Unfortunately, you just could not prove that he personally was the one responsible. Step up. What's your reaction to this outcome here?
I'm really surprised, but I agree with the judge in many of her other decisions, so I think that she's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's right. How can you keep dogs in the car overnight? Like, is that legal? Is that legal?
Have you ever had a dog in a barn at 68 degrees in Cape Breton?
What are you talking about?
It's
You live
the
in Manhattan,
same thing.
right? You live in Manhattan, and
My
it's a car
dogs were
parked on the side?
living in a barn in Cape Breton. It's very little difference.
Okay.
Internal temperature is internal
Good.
temperature.
All right, then head right down this way and sign you down. Whew. You're a thug. What? What? Stand right next to him over here.
Well, I never
Don't
heard of
block.
a-
You.
Yes,
you.
sir.
I never heard of a thug giving his phone number and name and address to anybody if he's going to do damage to their car.
Listen, if that happened at your party, don't you feel a little bit, I don't know, responsible or sympathetic?
I feel like if I saw it being done, I would have said something instantly, or I would have tried to stop it. But I can say I didn't, and I can say that my friends didn't. I'm going to stick by that because it didn't happen.
Would you
like
still
that.
be willing to offer her something like you were before?
No, because on our conversations, it got to the point that I couldn't trust her whether or not this was actually happening. And if she would have dealt with me the right way, then maybe I might have. You
You
know?
almost hurt her dogs, you know.
Well, she leaves the dogs in the car overnight. Who leaves the dogs in the car overnight? So you tell me if that's someone in the right.
Harvey?
Okay, so here's the bottom line. If you invite somebody over to your house, you are not responsible for what they do unless you make them crazy. Otherwise, what they do to a third party is not your problem. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way to the courtroom right now.